Okay, one of the games I'm always very excited to see is Tomb Raider, and Rise of the Tomb Raider here at Gamescom, we saw a significant and sizable chunk of gameplay. Brian, what was it like to demo this brand new gameplay segment to the world, should I say?
That was really exciting because we've shown just small sections of our game, and it's a very well-rounded mix of our three pillars of traversal, puzzle solving, combat, and we got to show a little bit more of our guerrilla-style combat in this demo and a sneak peek of our tombs.
Well, let's jump right into it. One thing that was discussed during the presentation at Xbox Showcase was the idea of this massive valley. Is that a central hub for the world? Is that where you're going to be spending a lot of your time?
Yeah, that was just a sneak peek of the hubs. They are 3 times larger than what we had in the past game, and you're going to have a ton of things to do. You're going to be able to hunt and collect resources that you can use to craft new ammunition and upgrade your weapons. You'll be able to do challenge missions, and of course you're going to be able to discover tombs. So they're going to be really nice places for the player to revisit and really occupy a large, significant chunk of time in the gameplay, and that's just one of them.
One of them, right? Okay. Was that a direct response to player feedback from the first game?
Yeah, we had hubs in the last game, and people really enjoyed the Metroidvania style of play. When you got a new weapon, you can go into that world, unlock new things. We wanted to double down on that and make sure we made larger spaces with more to do. So expect in this game, you're going to be able to get into these hubs and do a lot more that's going to allow the player to make some choices on how they want to upgrade their character.
One of the things we did see as well was the weapon wheel and the selection, especially on the bow and arrow. Let's just linger on that a little bit. So at the dual arrow takedown as well as a smoke arrow, is that correct?
Yeah. So we've introduced a lot of new weapons and ammunition. You can now find elements in the world like mushrooms and cloth. You can use those together in combination to craft a poison arrow, and that's one of the things we featured in the demo today. Also, you can buy skills, and that's where that double shot came in. So when you get to base camp and you have these skill points, you can spend them on different attributes, and in this case, we were able to shoot 2 arrows in 1 shot.
Now, you're on the hunt for this fabled city, but you're not the only person on that. There's this organization, Trinity. Can you sort of tap into, give us a broader idea about what Trinity is?
Yeah. Trinity is an ancient organization, been around for thousands of years, and what Lara has tapped into is they're a very deadly organization, and they're out to kill her for going after the lost city of Katesh. So there is a struggle and a race against time to find the lost city of Katesh and the secrets of immortality. And that's really what she's looking for, is something, a truly powerful thing like the secret of immortality can't fall into the wrong hands.
And you sort of teased the various different soldier types that Trinity will have. Now, it seems like a definite step up from the scavengers, the guys that we saw in the previous game. What sort of versatile soldiers, characters, enemies will you be going up against?
Yeah, I would say the Trinity soldier is a lot more tactically efficient. They work in combination, and the AI, we put a lot of time and effort into different classes that have different abilities. At the end, we showed a little bit of an upgraded mini-boss character with a flamethrower archetype, but each archetype has its own use, and some of them have heavy armor. And that's why we've introduced new weapons and tools like the poison arrow that can take out an armored character instead of a traditional headshot.
Going to touch upon that, yeah, with the armored guys, obviously, even firing a couple of point-blank range, it's not going to do any damage.
Yeah, so you can eventually whittle someone down if you had your shotgun out. You notice in that footage, one shotgun blast right to the chest went through the armor and took an enemy out. But you've also broken your stealth. So these are the risk-reward scenarios, and we wanted to have a more fully fleshed concept of stealth combat all the way up to action. And the demo sort of showcased how you can be completely silent, avoid all those enemies if you don't want to do any combat at all the way to full action. So it's that ability to juxtapose silent predator versus an action star that we're trying to deliver for Rise.
I was going to say, so there's a quite nice flow between stealth or full action options, so you're giving the player basically full choice.
You could have played that demo in multiple ways. We showcased just one of many ways that you can go about the strategy that you like to do as a player. So if you want to invest in stealthier tools and upgrades, you can do that. If you want to beef up your ammunition and your ability to take damage, you can go for more an action route. And for those that don't like to kill at all, we give options in certain areas where you can completely create distractions and traverse your way through and past a large amount of enemies.
Let's just quickly talk about Lara's animation. One of the things I absolutely loved in the reboot of Tomb Raider was that almost automatic cover system when you come up against enemies. Is that still in play, and how have you tinkered with or evolved her animation sequences?
We call that our fluid cover system, and it is still in Rise of the Tomb Raider. But we have upgraded it. As you notice, she can now swim underwater and then hide in bushes. That's all very contextualized as far as like Lara's animations change based on where she's at in her conditions. She can also climb up trees. All these things allow the player an opportunity to be in cover without having to engage with a button. And we feel that that's the foundation of our traversal and keeping Lara nimble and the player having the choice to move at any time.
And I would feel amiss if I didn't mention the tombs. We are going to talk about the tombs. The tombs are back and big. I mean, we saw a presentation there after the showcase where you sort of tinkered with one of the tombs, and you talked about multiple mini puzzles as well as showcasing the end, but having to get to that point.
We've gone back to actually a very classic technique in puzzles for Tomb Raider, which is the nested puzzle approach. That means you're going to have multiple puzzles in a large space that all feed together to solve one great problem. So in this case, you needed to raise the water level to get up to the sarcophagus, and there's going to be multiple ways that you can do that. And each of those miniature puzzles really have a meaty kind of escalation of skill and challenge, but we also didn't want to make the one puzzle so challenging that you might be stuck. So it keeps the pace up, it allows us to break it up with some traversal and maybe even some combat, and it provides a classic approach to puzzle solving through our modern lens.
Now, with the first game, Lara's arc was becoming a survivor. Archaeologist at heart, but a survivor second, and we got to experience that with her. Now, when she came out at the end of that adventure, you felt like she was fully, well, maybe not fully fleshed out, but she had been through all these trials. So where do you take that? Why do you continue that in Rise of the Tomb Raider?
We really think this is a story about Lara's journey to become the Tomb Raider. She's now confidently going and seeking the lost city of Katesh. She doesn't stumble across it like in Tomb Raider before. She discovered this through a tragedy. Now she's seeking out these myths in the darkest, most hostile, remote locations on Earth, because that's where we find these ancient things. You know, if they were easy to find, anyone would find them. So Lara is uniquely qualified to do this, and she is going out prepared now for the danger. And of course, though, there's always going to be a challenge that makes you, the player, have to grow and increase your skills and ultimately, hopefully, find the lost city of Katesh.
Well, just sort of finishing on that, obviously she's prepared for the dangers and for traversing this horrendous sort of surroundings in this environment. But as we saw in the sort of gameplay clips thus far, she spends a lot of time covered in blood. She spends a lot of time going through some hardships. Is there that sort of die-hard thing of basically how can the same stuff happen to the same person twice?
You know, Lara is going into a situation where that she knows a hostile organization is out for the same thing she's going for. And that will challenge her. That will put her in a situation she's going to have to react. And it is going to be a hard crucible to go through to be able to accomplish her goals. So yes, there are going to be challenges, but after all, you can't have drama without consequences.
One of the most fascinating parts of the original game was Lara's interaction with the other survivors. Is there any aspect of that appearing in Rise of the Tomb Raider as well?
Well, we showcased in the demo from E3 that she goes along with Jonah. He's one of the companions that she was with on the expedition to Yamatai. So now she's taking Jonah with her up to Siberia, and it's a difficult situation for him and for her. I mean, ultimately, tomb raiding. What Lara realizes, tomb raiding is really a solo sport. It's something that she does have friends and acquaintances that she will work with, but you, the player, are going to be playing as Lara Croft, doing what you love to do, which is going through ancient spaces that no one's been before, making these amazing discoveries.
All right, and sort of wrapping up then, you guys finish up in Gamescom. What's the roadmap between now and launch? What rest have you got to do?
Our team is working extremely hard. The team at Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal is crushing the bugs. We're getting to that last stages where we're putting not only just the polish on the game, but making sure it's street ready. So we're really excited to be rounding this last corner and see that game come out in the United States November 10th, and for the UK area it's going to be November 13th.
Listen, thank you very much indeed for taking the time to talk to us. Obviously, about Rise of the Tomb Raider, all the reviews, previews, news, videos and stuff like that, keep checking back with Gamereactor.